Welcome to this week's midweek edition of In the Draft. Today we'll be going over your midweek fantasy. And today, is probably one of the reasons you clicked on this video anyways, we're going to be revealing the schedule for ADCS 2.
Through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
First of all, this week we will be going over your midweek fantasy for Texas, the second race of the round of 8. We'll also be going over some playoff pictures a little after we get done with the fantasy. So first of all, I'm starting off with Brad Keselowski. He had a strong showing. I think it was in the summer at Texas. I've got him in my first fantasy slot this week. I actually kept Denny Hamlin in this week after kind of sloppy performance at Kansas last week. I guess he's kind of just fell out of the groove as he's slipped down the power rankings in NASCAR, as he is only 20 points to the good to making it into the championship 4, which is concerning for the I-11 team for sure, but I've got him in this week. Denny Hamlin, 3 wins at Texas in his career. He should have a strong showing this week. And next on my list, it's Joey Logano, last week's winner. He has a win at Texas to advance himself into the championship 4. I think it was in 2018 or 2019 that he advanced in the championship via the win at Texas. So I've got him in my fantasy lineup this week. Momentum definitely plays a big part in the playoffs in NASCAR. And I think Joey Logano will have another strong showing this weekend at Texas. Next up is a shocker, Kyle Busch. I'm putting Kyle Busch in my fantasy lineup. He's got a couple wins at Texas. He had a strong showing also this summer after being involved in a crash. He came back after a wild ride through the grass he took. So Kyle Busch, definitely a strong contender at Texas. Maybe this week will be the luck for the 18 that he needs to have a strong showing once. And obviously last, Kevin Harvick. He's won the last 3 playoff races at Texas, which is pretty insane. Definitely. If you don't have him in your fantasy lineup, definitely think of putting him in. I actually have one more use for him after Texas. So I'll probably come at Phoenix. But yeah, Kevin Harvick takes up my last spot for fantasy, my fantasy starters this week. Alex Bowman is in my garage. Alex Bowman is starting 5th at Texas this week. He had an iffy showing earlier this summer, but once Alex Bowman's out in front, he's not going to give up many positions. So that's why I'm putting Alex Bowman up in my garage. Alright, so my race win pick this week, it's going to be Kevin Harvick. He's obviously won the last 3 playoff races at Texas. So I think he'll keep the streak going this year with another win to advance himself into the championship 4. Let's look at the playoff picture. First of all, a notable name, obviously Joey Logano, already advanced in the championship 4 with that win. Joey Logano is looking more and more like a legit championship contender. All he needed was that win, because earlier before the pandemic, he got that win at Phoenix, which was big for him and his momentum. But then obviously after the pandemic, all that momentum's lost as you have that big cold streak of racing. But Joey Logano has got a win, and that's all you need in these playoffs to catch a hot streak, and I think Joey Logano is looking like a legitimate contender for the championship this year. Another big notable name is Martin Truex Jr., he's 31 points below the cut line, which means he has to have a very, very strong showing these next two races. You look at Texas. He's been good at Texas. Martinsville, a place he's won this year and has came so close to winning against Joey Logano in 2018. So I think Martin Truex Jr. is a legitimate contender maybe to make it back into the championship four, but it's going to be tough for him to do it because he hasn't had the strong showings like Harvick has had, Brad Keselowski's had, Chase Elliott's had even. Chase Elliott is also a legitimate contender, speaking of championship contenders, as he's only 5 points behind Brad Keselowski. And Brad Keselowski on the cut line, obviously only needing that win. If Brad Keselowski could get that win, he has been great on the tracks that NASCAR's run the package that they're going to run at Phoenix on. So if Brad Keselowski could just get into that championship four, I think it's going to be fireworks for him. But if we see two playoff drivers, it could be Kurt Busch, it could be Alex Bowman, it could be Chase Elliott, it could be even Martin Truex Jr. If two of those drivers, anyone below the cut line really, winning, we see them winning this round. We need two of those guys to win. We could possibly see Harvick or Hamlin not make the championship four. As for Hamlin fans, I'm sorry, but it's not looking good as Hamlin's momentum has really just stalled out, I guess, as he's looking kind of starting to look like his 2018 self, as he's slowly fading to where he was in 2018. As everyone else keeps getting better and better. Joey Logano, obviously, this week with that win. Harvick stayed consistent. Chase Elliott's getting much better. And Brad Keselowski's been running up in the top 3, top 5 in these past few races. And it's not looking good for Hamlin fans right now. And I think Kurt Busch and Alex Bowman, they kind of need wins here. Texas, definitely a place that they could both get wins. So look for them to maybe be strong there as well. Alright, now let's take a look at some silly season that happened this week. Chase Briscoe was promoted from the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series to replace Clint Boyer in the 14 next year. His sponsor, HighPoint.com, is carrying along with him as they will be the primary sponsor for that 14 next year. Eric Jones moving over to Richard Petty Motorsports. Richard Petty got a steal, as Eric Estep said in his video earlier this week. They got a steal with Eric Jones. I think Jones was possibly the best driver they could have gotten. Kyle Larson is kind of unrealistic to think he would actually go to Richard Petty Motorsports. Eric Jones, I think, will be a great fit for that Richard Petty Motorsports 43. And now to some other news from around the sport this week. Jimmy Johnson bringing a special scheme this weekend at Texas, designed by Noah Sweet, a paint scheme designer on social medias. I've looked at some of his work. It's amazing. Congratulations to him, as it's a pretty nice looking paint scheme as well. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it on the track, and congratulations to him. And now the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the reveal of the ADCS Season 2 schedule. Alright, so the first race, by the way, I will be making just a video on this by itself. The first race, I decided this year that I had too many super speedways clumped up from last year and then this year, because I didn't want to put the Daytona 500 as the first race of the season, but I wanted to go with a track that was close to it in Homestead, Miami, which is a track that produces great racing, and I think I just needed a break from filming the super speedways, because it sometimes gets boring after you film the exact same thing over and over again. Second is Pocono, which is also another track we never raced at in the ADCS before. Pocono, I guess it's fun. I love driving it on video games, but it's just a pain to watch on on regular television or in person. I've never been to Pocono, probably never will be. But yeah, the racing's just kind of boring there. But I think it might make a fun stop motion to film, as it's a unique track. And yeah, that's why Poconos at second. And third on the schedule this year, or this season, ADCS Season 2, which will be next year, by the way, is Charlotte Motor Speedway. I just wanted to go back to the roots, kind of a NASCAR in Charlotte, and yeah, it's going to be, I loved filming that race last year. It was a nice long race, too. And now we got a new track on the schedule, a fantasy track, the Boston Short Track. It's high banked, long straightaway. It's kind of like the Auto Club short track. Yeah, but that's another race I'm kind of looking forward to filming as well. And then I decided to put Daytona 5th on the schedule. Actually, we are doubling up on Daytona this year. We have in the 5th slot Daytona, the Daytona Oval, and then we have the Daytona Road Course 6th on the schedule this year. And that should be a fun race to film. I just finished up filming the first race of the All-Star Series at the Daytona Road Course, and it was a blast to film. So I'm excited to film another one of those races, just with more cars in the field. Next is Bristol Dirt, which is a new track coming to the NASCAR Cup Series schedule in 2021, which I'm definitely excited for. The Bristol Dirt track, I guess, it could bring a lot of action. I think the Bristol Dirt race will be in real life before I start filming that stop motion. So I'll get to see how the racing's like there and try to replicate it, I guess, as well as I can. And then 8th on the schedule is actually the stop motion that kind of started growing my channel a little bit. It's Kansas. That was the first video I think I got 100 views on in one day. So Kansas, it was a great race to film. Ryan Blaney won in my series that race in Season 1 to advance to the round of 8. Putting that huge slide job on Kevin Harvick. That was a super fun finish to film. Yeah, that's why Kansas is there. We'll probably like filming a Kansas race. And then it's Dover at the number 9 spot, second to last race until the playoffs. Dover, it was a fun race to film. Really a battle last season between Jimmy Johnson and Matt DiBenedetto. That was a really fun, just back and forth battle to film, if you guys remember that. And then the race that definitely blew up my channel was Talladega, and that will be the regular season cutoff, the last race of the regular season, the 10th race of the season. Great race to film. I mean, I always have so much fun filming the Talladega races, the crashes, the huge battles, the close finishes. Everything about it is just fun to film. And that's why it's at the playoff cutoff line. And again, anything can happen at Talladega, honestly. So that's why that's there. And opener of the round of 16. First of all, before I get into the playoffs, we have a new playoff structure for this year. Or this season, I guess. So there's going to be 16 drivers in the playoffs as normal, but 8 drivers will be eliminated after the first 2 races. And then that leaves us with 8 left for the last 3 races. After the next 2 races, which we'll get to in a minute, we'll have 4 drivers left, which means we are eliminating 4 after the round of 8. So the rounds go 16 drivers, 8 drivers, and then 4 drivers. And these are the races for the round of 16. Phoenix will lead off at the 11th spot in the schedule. Phoenix was a fun little race to film last year. It was an elimination race, I think, of the first round. Definitely kind of looking forward to filming that. And then for the elimination race of the round of 16, it's North Wilkesboro. This finish had a great. This stop motion had a great finish last season with Kurt Busch and Ryan Blaney making contact and Haley Deegan sneaking through for the win. So that'll be a fun elimination race to film. Obviously, anything could happen there. Short track, a lot of bumping and banging. And then we have the last 2 races before the championship schedule of the round of 8. The Super Oval, which is a new track. The Super Oval is the first super speedway oval, which means just a pure oval, I guess. It's gonna be a fun race to film. Another super speedway on the schedule, which makes it 3 different super speedways. Last year I had 4 super speedway races, which I felt was a little too much. So this year we're having 1 race at every super speedway. So yeah, that'll be fun. Martinsville, a track that we didn't visit last year. I don't know how, but yeah, Martinsville is gonna be on the schedule this year, and it'll be the elimination race to the next race, which is the championship race. And I think you guys will really like this one. So last race of the season, you guys are gonna get a preview of it before ADCS season 2, and that is because the championship race is gonna be hosted at Monza. Yeah, that's right. We're going to Italy for the championship race of ADCS Season 2. And it will be the championship race of actually the All-Star Challenge. Looking forward to finishing that. I haven't started it yet, but it's going to be a fun stop motion to film. I'm finishing up the Monza track, actually. I have most of the stuff painted. Just got to put some walls on, and I'll be finished with that track, which looks great right now, by the way. So I'm really excited to film that championship race. Should be pretty fun. And that'll do it for this Wednesday episode of In the Draft. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. See you later.